Westfield Memorial Hospital provides high-quality health care to residents of Western New York, offering patients the most sophisticated medical advancements while keeping the ease and familiarity of a community hospital. Support for Chautauqua Sunrise has been provided by WRFA 107.9 FM, Jamestown's public radio station, streaming online 24/7 at WRFALP.com. Low power to the people. Chautauqua Sunrise is made possible by a grant from Fredonia Place, a continuing care retirement community providing dignity in a modern luxury environment. Meter's Restaurant, a family tradition for over 50 years in downtown Ripley, is a proud supporter of Chautauqua Sunrise. Meter's provides all-day dining, banquet services, and custom catering, specializing in pie. Funding for Chautauqua Sunrise is provided in part by the Chautauqua County Industrial Development Agency, with offices in Jamestown and Dunkirk, helping businesses to prosper throughout Chautauqua County. From supporting people with disabilities to enjoy great lives to providing health care services that are available to anyone, the Resource Center has been improving our county for more than 60 years. Learn more about how the Resource Center makes a positive difference in people's lives. From the Access Chautauqua Studios in Mayville, it's Chautauqua Sunrise. Chautauqua Sunrise is hosted by Doc Hamels and supported by the award-winning volunteers at Access Chautauqua. We are here to share local news, colorful interviews, and events of interest to everyone. Chautauqua Sunrise is broadcast live Saturday mornings each week from 9 to 10 a.m. Send events via email or call us live. Check us out on YouTube and Facebook. And now, from the Access Chautauqua Studios, it's Chautauqua Sunrise.
Hey everybody, good morning. I'm Doc Hamels and welcome back, or welcome to Chautauqua Sunrise. Well, it's kind of a wild weather day out there. If you live down along the lakeshore on Route 5 and 20, it's basically wet. You get up here in the seat of the county in Mayville, we've got a couple inches of snow. How would you describe it, Justin? Slushy?
Yucky.
Yucky and slushy. Yucky. So the reason why I mentioned that up here in the hills, because I have been the victim of getting caught in slush over the years, and it will pull your vehicle left or right. So take your time, throw it in four-wheel drive if you're in that slushy, yucky. Is that a scientific word? Yucky?
I don't know.
What?
I'm not the doctor.
You're not the doctor. Oh, well, okay. Anyways, we also experiencing a lot of wind at my house last night. Holy mackerel, the dog was barking. I didn't know why. This morning when I went outside, things that were on the deck were thrown every which way, and I was pretty amazed. So please take that in stride and advice that just take your time this morning. But I guess it's supposed to get warmer in the 40s. Crazy winter, huh? Everybody keeps saying, well, we're probably going to pay for it. Well, maybe we will, maybe we won't. And so we'll see. I don't know. In future years. Oh, down the road, Jeff, huh? Hey, Jeff is back. We're glad to have him back in the engineering booth. He was down south. Were you in Florida? Where were you? Florida, north of Tampa. Anyways, so we got the full crew back here. We are working on a little difficulty of sound that we had the last week or two, so I'm hoping that we've figured it out. There's only so much you can do when you're live TV, and so we have appreciated some of your comments and alerting us about things, so we're hoping today might be a better sound for you guys. All right, first of all, good morning to everybody that's watching me live on Spectrum 1301. Good afternoon. So for you that are over in Europe, especially our friends in the Ukraine, Natalia and friends, good morning or afternoon. I want to say good afternoon also to all my listeners on WRFA 107.9, low power to the people in Jamestown, Tuesdays at 1 o'clock. So glad you could join us. Got a really, really cool show in store for you. Well, we always do. But this one is very different than any other show I think I've done so far. And this is our 449th show. And we have never talked about what we're going to talk about today before. So I think you're going to find this pretty cool. Well, what else? Throughout the week, we also are rebroadcasting from 2 and 8 every day. You can catch us on Facebook. You can catch us on YouTube. We are everywhere. And, of course, we're streaming live around the world. I am also very proud and honored to let you all know that the crew and I are now, we need a drum roll or something. We are officially members of the Chautauqua County Chamber of Commerce. So we are very proud to be part of that organization. We very often talk about some of the things they do, and I thought it was high time that we joined the ranks. So glad to be part of that. So we look forward to working with the various businesses as we have in the past, but now we're part of all of that. Did you know that you can call in if you have a question? Because right this very moment, we are live. And you can call us at 716-753-5225. Now, why would you do that? My guest today is very interesting. She's going to be talking about some really cool stuff, and you may want to know about what she's talking about even more. You may have an organization that you're going to have a fundraiser. We're happy to share that. You may have a birthday, an anniversary. You might just say, hey, guys, how are you? Just pipe in, say hello. All right? So throughout the week, if your club or organization does have an event and you aren't able to let us know what's going on, there's the email address. Let's see, I got to do this right. I'm always backwards on TV. Whoop, way over here. Chautauqua, this is hard to do, chautauquasunrise@gmail.com, okay? Chautauqua Sunrise, all one word, @gmail.com. So you can email to us, and people do. And we're happy to do your announcement for free. What could be better? If you checked out the cost of advertising, paid advertising, it's pretty expensive, but we're happy to share that. And like I said, when you think about how we cover and blanket the county and throughout the region, it's a good deal. All right, let me see if I got anything else to share with you at the moment. Okay, I'm going to get to the announcements because I want to give my guest as much time as I possibly can this morning. She's anxiously waiting in the wings here. All right, let's go to slide 16. This is an interesting one. Shine a light on gambling. You might think, what's that all about? I have actually run into people that have a serious issue with gambling. So this says, in honor of Problem Gambling Awareness Month, the New York Council on Problem Gambling is encouraging everyone across New York State, individuals, agencies, communities alike to come together, shine a light on problem gambling. With gambling opportunities expanding at rapid rates in New York State and beyond, it's imperative that all factions of the community in geographic areas of the state join forces around the issue of problem gambling. We need to collaborate to raise awareness of problem gambling, prevent any additional problems related to gambling, and get those in need to adequate support services in their community. There are many ways you can get involved with Problem Gambling Awareness Month. Okay, you can, on March 14th, they're going to have a screening day. Let's see, hang on a second. Evidently, they're going to have a show of some sort that you can go with. You can connect with your local Problem Gambling Resource Center. And this is through Prevention Works, I believe. Yep, there it is. Okay. You can, if you're a community, you can do a proclamation and so forth. So, probably everybody has known or knows somebody right now that might be right on the edge of becoming a gambling addict. When they're starting to use up their paycheck money, or they're at the races all the time, or they're betting on all that stuff you see on TV, and they're not paying their bills and things like this. Now we got a problem. So just word of caution, if people need help, there is help out there, and you can contact Prevention Works, which is right in Chautauqua County. All right, so just as a FYI. Now, let's go on to the next page here. This is from the Chamber. As local businesses of all types and sizes continue to cite concerns about hiring and retaining employees, both the Chamber of Commerce in Chautauqua County and the Visitors Bureau are taking steps to address the issue. These two organizations will hold back-to-back events in March aimed at helping local businesses find and keep personnel. This is probably the largest problem I have seen in this county in a long, long time. I don't care if you go to a restaurant, you go to a salon, if you go to mom and pop shops or even big industrial companies, there's help wanted, looking to hire. I mean, it's amazing to me. So here we go. The Chautauqua County Chamber of Commerce will present online Tuesday talks, panel discussions at 8:30 a.m. Tuesday, March 21. You're going to have guest panelist Nate Aldrich, the Economic Development Coordinator of Chautauqua County, Katie Geist, the Workforce Investment Board, also Chautauqua Works, Brian LeBaron from the Jamestown Community College Workforce Development, and Julie Page, part of the JCC Career Services. The panelists will touch on the overall job market and workforce status, including broad efforts to recruit and retain employees across Chautauqua County. I don't know how many times I've talked to people within government, and they'll say, there are jobs. We just don't have the people either with the right training or people that even know that the jobs are there. So there's a disconnect, all right? So that's going to be March 21. And then on March 23 in the Carnahan Center at Jamestown Community College, there's something called Ramping Up for Seasonal Hiring. And speakers that morning, will be Kelly Borello, owner of Cabana Sam's up in Sunset Bay Beach Club, William Hart France, the sales manager for Chautauqua Harbor Hotel, and a panel from Chautauqua Works led by Executive Director Katie Geist. And so they're going to be talking about all that sort of thing. So if you're interested, look up tourchautauqua.com, and there's some workshops there, all right? Again, tourchautauqua.com, and then there's a spring 2023 tourism workshop site that you can register. So if you're a mom and pop shop, a big industrial site, it doesn't matter. I know many people are looking to fill lots of positions. All right, let's go on to slide 16. I don't know if I can say all these correctly, but I'll give it my best. Let's see, Naval New York, or Naval Knee. I'm not sure how to say that, Jeff. And 80 for Brady to show at the Reg Linnaeus Center for the Arts. Enthralling and intimate director Daniel Rowers, I don't know how to say this, Navalny, is going to be shown March 8th, and it unfolds with the pace of a thriller as it follows Russian opposition leader Alexei, it's his last name, Navalny, in his quest to identify the men who poisoned him. Oh yeah, I know who he is, in August 2020. He's the guy that's like Putin's nemesis. Shot in Germany as the story unfolded and offering extraordinary access to the investigation. This gentleman is a fly-on-the-wall documentary this movie about this gentleman is a fly-on-the-wall documentary that is also a study of his portrait as a leader intent on reform who will not be cowed by anything, including his own poisoning. The film is nominated for Best Documentary Feature at this year's Academy Awards. The movie is rated R, and it's 130 minutes long. Did you notice how I fared away to not keep saying that word? 80 for Brady. This is interesting to me. It's like the team that everyone has learned to hate over the years, and now they got a movie about Brady with all these 80-year-old ladies. It's kind of fun, and I saw some of the previews. It's inspired by the true story of four best friends living life to the fullest when they take a wild trip to the 2017 Super Bowl to see their hero Tom Brady play. 80 for Brady is rated PG-13, and it's 98 minutes long. I saw the lineup. It looks like a lot of fun. Upcoming movies at the Reg include the Palace Theater Centennial Special Engagement of Jesus Christ Superstar. That's going to be on March 15th. Tickets are usually $7. Family movies are $6, and so forth. If you want tickets, give them a call at 484-7070 or go on down to the box office. Okay, number 17, Rotary Club of Westfield, Mayville. Okay, this is coming up. There might still be a few tickets left. It's Go for the Green Virtual Gold Rush. Okay, they're giving away a $1,000 cash prize, which is being sponsored by the South Ripley Solar Project. And then we've got, I believe, 45 maybe vendors that have donated gift certificates and prizes. And I won't go to the list. If you're watching on TV, you can see on your right-hand side, everything's backwards to me. The right-hand side, my left, all the vendors and folks that have donated wonderfully in the region to help us out. And now, this is kind of interesting. We did this for the last couple of years. It's going to be a virtual drawing. In the past, there used to be like a chicken barbecue, and we'd pull all the names and that sort of thing. So there's, I think, 250 tickets out. They're $25 a piece, five tickets for 100 or 20 each. So depending on where we're at, and then you can talk to a Rotarian, so you still might be able to get in on it. I'm not sure. I know a lot of the tickets were gone, but I can tell you that it's going to be virtually shown on Facebook. So if you go to the Westfield Mayville Rotary Facebook page and like it, when it comes time this coming Saturday, a week from today, at 7:30, you'll see yours truly live on streaming, and we're going to announce the first winners of the first, 35 prizes. And then I believe they're going to draw for the last 10 live right on FaceTime. There's going to be a Zooming opportunity, and you'll have to look at your tickets to figure that out. But I would recommend just going to FaceTime. That's the easiest. And we had a lot of fun last year. People were watching. I think I saw like about 98 people were watching us do that. So way cool. Now, what's it all about? The money goes for scholarships to 4 different schools, to deserving high school seniors, and then also various community projects that we support throughout our catchment area in the Westfield, Ripley, Brockton, Barcelona, Mayville, Ripley, Sherman. So we're all over this area here, and we support a lot of different projects. Okay, let's see what else I got here. Oh, here we go. Blingo fundraiser number 18, Jeff. To benefit people with disabilities, set for March 30th. Okay, those looking to enjoy a fun night out while supporting people with disabilities should plan to attend the 7th annual Sassy Bags and Beyond Blingo fundraiser Thursday, March 30th. The event will be held at the Resource Center's administrative offices at 200 Dunham Avenue in Celeron. Doors will open at 6 p.m. with the Blingo games starting at 7. Those planning to attend should park in the rear lot and use their entrance at the top of the ramp. The evening will feature 12 games of bingo with handbags as prizes. Admission is $20. Included in the cost of admission are the 12 bingo games and a chance to win a door prize. The event is being organized by Filling the Gap, Inc., which works with the Resource Center to improve the lives of people with disabilities in Chautauqua County. Money raised through Sassy Bags and Beyond Blingo will benefit the Resource Center Mark Pacheco Wow Working on Wonders Fund at the Chautauqua Region Community Foundation. The Wow Fund provides money so people with disabilities can enjoy experiences they otherwise could not afford, such as attending concerts or sporting events. Very cool. After years of hosting a virtual fundraiser, we are thrilled to be back in person, according to Victoria Bardo. She's the development and event manager for Filling the Gap. Sassy Bags and Beyond Blingo has always been a favorite fun and friend raiser for us. This is a great time for all who attend. We also provide light snacks and beverages. Okay, so tickets are available at the Resource Center's offices at Dunham Avenue and at Filling the Gap offices inside the Felice Corporate Center at 92 Fairmount Avenue in Jamestown. Tickets can also be purchased online going to fillingthegap.net/events. Or you can call them at 661-1477. And according to this, tickets are going fast. I know some people have gone to some of these hang on a second, I'll get it. What do you call those things? I'm trying to blank right now. Purses! God. Purses in big bags that you put all kinds of stuff. Why I couldn't think of the word purse. I was going into French and German. All right, anyways, and they have a great time. So it's a good fundraiser. We'll be right back. We're going to have a station break. Stay tuned. We'll be with you shortly.
I'll move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Okay, we're back. That was a quick one. Well, I had to go back to my spreadsheet for the show, and I had to look up when my guest was here the last time. It was December 5th, 2015, and she was in a totally different world and role. I had children's author Jennifer Phillips Russo is back, and she's way, way beyond all that. Good morning, Jennifer.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I was just thrilled to run into you at the Rotary function that day. We'll talk about that maybe in a little bit. But I'm thinking, we've been on Facebook together for a bazillion years, it seems, and I've watched your kids grow up and what you're doing, and then we realized we had mutual friends, and so it's a small world, isn't it?
It really is.
And but let's just kind of go back to that moment in 2015. I read about you in the newspaper. I think that's how I saw it, and they had promoted the fact that you had written this little book about girls. I think, wasn't it? It was about for your daughters.
It was close. Yes, it's about family.
Yeah.
About family and how it's really for my son because he has 3 sisters and he really wanted another brother. So I started off writing the books about, I have a friend in the same situation, and it just blossomed into 2 fantasy fiction novels for middle grade.
Oh, there was 2 of them. Mm-hmm. Oh, I just remember.
I think there was one when you and I started,
right.
But then there was
Was that about girls?
Girls, yes, Sea of Pink. He was surrounded in a sea of pink, and he was trying to find his way.
Yeah, yeah. Well, so at that point, were you in college? Or?
I was.
Okay.
I was in college getting my bachelor's, I was getting my master's at that point in biology and environmental science.
So, I don't even know where to begin. What were you, growing up, what did you want to be?
Isn't it funny how life works? I often find myself asking, how did I get here?
I know the feeling.
So growing up, I've always been athletic and I've always been a dancer. So I wanted to be a dance techer, and I fulfilled that role for 22 years alongside of being a scientist and a mom. So I don't want to be just one thing. If something moves you and you enjoy something, go for it.
Absolutely.
Don't pigeonhole yourself.
Yeah, you don't have to pigeonhole. So, scientist, that's a very broad term. Had you zeroed in on what you were thinking in the sciences, or?
I wanted to be a doctor.
Of?
I wanted to be an MD.
Oh, medical doctor.
Medical doctor,
Okay.
yes. So I went to my undergraduate work. I did a lot of internships where I shadowed doctors and did some clinical work in Erie. And then I realized that, and I am so grateful that we have medical doctors out there and people with special talents, but I realized that I need happy people around me all the time. And when you're going to see a doctor, most of the time it's not for a really fun, feel-good, warm feeling. So I thought, how else can I? And I've always been connected to nature. So biology was just, and environmental science was
It's
just
the first
the
cousin.
best thing.
It's,
Yeah,
life.
exactly.
Yeah. I just on an aside, I remember taking classes in high school, and to this day, my favorite all time, every single class I ever took in high school was biology.
Same.
I remember the day that we had to take some stinky water through an eye drop and put it on a slide and look at it, and seeing amoebas and paramecium, and it is like, poosh, these things have been existing all this time and I didn't know it.
You just described my master's.
And then we just, how biology classes go, you start dissecting things and learning more and more and more about life, how it's all connected. But it just blew my mind. And of course, the teacher always makes the difference. He was really kind of an interesting character. He was dry, but had a lot of kind of subtle humor, and he just inspired me. And I actually taught some biology at a very, very basic level for 1 year. So, but very cool. All right, so when you say nature, what do you mean by nature? I know that seems kind of an odd question, but some people think, like, mountain climbing or whatever? Did you have a special?
No, I found myself. Now you're going to intertwine all of me in one
Yeah,
story.
that's my job.
So I found myself when I was younger. I grew up in the country, and I was always entertaining myself out in the backyard until the sun went down when we all had to be home and the street lights came on, right?
Yep.
So just building forts and using my imagination with the mud and the air and the plants and then the animals. And it's just always been a common thread through everything that I've done in my career path. So
Did you have brothers,
I
sisters?
have an older sister and a younger brother.
Okay. Did they go outside with you and do the forts, or was it just you?
No, we were all outside
Yeah.
working. Right? But there was a lot of alone time as well. Like I tend to, I call it Jennifer Land in my head. It's a really fun place, and I go there a lot. So.
You know, I grew up in the city, and I always found myself in trees.
Oh yes.
I knew that sounds weird, but we'd go to Delaware Park, and everybody else would be doing their thing, and I'd be on the top of a tree, and they go, "What are you doing up there?" I go, "It's wonderful up here," but nobody else wanted to go up in the trees with me.
Always in trees. As a matter
Yeah.
of fact, I remember one story when I had to drop and trust my father to catch me because I got stuck. So.
Yeah, I can't do this. Just
Right.
do it. You'll be all right. You know, and you're like 3 feet off the ground or whatever. Just that big jump. Yeah, and I remember my parents had a interesting garden. It was like 35. The lot was 35 feet wide, but it was like 100 and some feet long in the city. So there was enough room for little gardens and little spaces. So I always had like the secret garden that was my little space that I could grow things in, just like very similar to you. Did you ever do this one? Did you ever like dig for dinosaurs?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then as my children got older, we all went out and dug for dinosaurs.
We had my cousin Bruce and my brother and I were like 1 year. All three of us were like a ladder, 1, 2, 3 in age. And so I remember we used to go out to Bruce's home out in the country, and we decided we were going to dig for dinosaur bones, and we found this huge bone. Well, it turned out it was the farmer down in the back would bury all his slaughtered cow bones, and so we had found a thigh bone.
Well, it was a dinosaur at that time, though. You know
Absolutely, it was phenomenal. So isn't that funny what we do as kids? And you know, and I don't like to pick on kids today because they're doing their own thing, but that was what we did, and it was fun. And my kids have always been outdoorsy. Are your kids too, or?
The two that are in college are going for animal behavior and environmental conservation.
Sweet,
So
yeah.
I like to say that we've guided them towards a scientific life.
So you have what, 3 kids, 4
I have
kids?
4.
4. Yeah, we had 4. How many? What's the combination?
I have 1 boy and 3 girls.
We have just the opposite: 3 boys and 1 girl.
We kept trying. God love our little Aria, the baby.
Oh gosh. Okay, so what I'm hearing is that you already were connected to the land and to nature, and so biology was just a natural.
Yes.
So, but you were dancing your way through life for quite a while.
I was.
So when did you have this aha moment that I'm going to go to college? I mean, was this you had started and then stopped, or how did that?
I went to college for dance. I went to college for dance, and then
At Fredonia?
nope, I went to Brockport State University. Yeah. So I was in their dance program and then also in their biology program, knowing that one person's body cannot sustain that forever.
You gotta have a fallback position.
So why not scientists, right?
Right.
Dancer, scientist,
Okay.
it's all the same. So I was working I even did some cadaver studies and do some anatomy and physiology. If I'm dancing and my knee hurts, why? So did a lot of
All connected, yeah.
yeah.
So then when you graduated, you had your bachelor's in fine arts? Or?
No, my bachelor's is in biology. So
Oh, so dancing was the backup.
dance,
Oh,
yeah,
the other,
it became the backup as I got more involved into the science. I was like, do I want to sit and wait for auditions the rest of my life, or do I want to do science the rest
All right,
of my life?
so then out of college, what'd you do?
I actually, oh my goodness gracious, that's a long time ago. So I
You
worked.
can skip ahead. You don't have to do it all.
It kind of all comes full circle when we get to what I'm doing now, but I was working with Welch's in Westfield is in their customer satisfaction department, and then also raising babies and going to school at the same time. We were fortunate enough because we have a small business here in Chautauqua County.
Oh, what's that?
Mary's Deli, it's a pizzeria. So we were fortunate enough that I could pause to raise our children at home and then get back into the workforce when they went back to school or got into school.
So you took a break.
I did.
Hiatus is what they say in the business world.
Yes.
And then you went back for your master's.
Right. Well, master's while raising children. So I guess give yourself a little credit. It is a full-time job, right? So,
Yeah, it is.
So raising children and going to school full-time, working on my master's. And my master's was done on Chautauqua Lake, actually. I studied harmful algal blooms and what nutrients drove those. So.
Okay, and we've heard a lot about that in the papers in the last few years.
Right.
And now you're working on your PhD.
Yes.
Very cool. Well,
So in our little community here in Western New York in Chautauqua County, I was always wondering what can I do with science here? Because we do have a business. You can't just pick that business up, take it somewhere else, and expect it to be as successful. So I always thought that I was always looking for avenues to do science in Chautauqua County, and I was asked by Dr. Terry Bates, who is the director of the Cornell Lake Erie Research and Extension Laboratory, to join one of his large grants as a research assistant or research technician. And that is in the grape world. So that started my love for all the grapes here, which after you get enthralled into it, and I don't think many people know just how rich our agriculture is in our county and how important it is to the rest of the world, right here from Western New York. So.
It's awesome. Yeah, actually, I have a pretty good handle on that over the years. I always introduce myself as the world's smallest grape farmer. Not in stature, but I have like 6 vines. But it's still work, you know. And I have an appreciation for, you know, it takes me all of 15 minutes to groom my grapes. But then I think about it and I think, oh my gosh, what if you have 100 acres and all the work, because I don't do the fertilization and all that stuff. But I have started my own grapevines and things of this nature. So it's a very cool thing to do.
It's very cool, very innovative. And they are just, when I say they, I'm talking about my grower stakeholders. I cannot believe how persistent they are. They're just very resilient and brilliant. And I just love working with them.
I've talked to various people in the ag business, and not to take away from anybody, because the dairy farmers, they have a world of their own. You got the vegetable farmers, then you have the fruit farmers, and then I would do a subset of that is the grape farmers. And when I talk to them, it's not your grandpa's grape farms anymore. I mean, it's high-tech science and everything now.
It is so cool.
Okay, so let's bring it to the present moment. You actually work for whom?
For Cornell University. I am an educator for Cornell University. My official title, if you're ready for this, is I am the team leader and viticulture extension specialist for the Lake Erie Regional Grape Program. So that program itself, there are county Cornell Cooperative Extension Associations at a county level. Each county has one. And then there are regional teams. And I am part, and I'm really proud to say this, I am part of the only team in our regional teams, there are 11 of us at Cornell University, that is made up of 2 land-grant universities and 2 states. So, you know, the state line doesn't stop weather, nor does it stop our grape growing.
So I'm assuming you're talking about Pennsylvania?
Pennsylvania.
Nice.
So I work with Penn State University and Cornell University. Our team is made up of educators from both.
Wow.
It is really cool, actually, because if you think of myself as a resource for all the grape growers, myself and my teammates, and we have all of these researchers behind us working on the same problem. So you could go to one person to funnel in all of those scientific-based resources and combine it with local knowledge to help be more productive.
So, since 2015, you went from mom, children's author, dancer,
Yes.
to scientist.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So how long have you been in this particular role that you're now?
5 years. I've been with Cornell
Really?
for 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So let's talk a little bit about the area, and you mentioned how important it is to the world's economy and food sources. I forgot all the numbers, but 30,000 acres of grapes or something like that?
Yes.
300,000? 30,000.
Approximately 32,000 acres.
I got it right. I knew there was,
Nice.
sometimes I put too many zeros in there.
Well done. Which makes us the largest grape growing region this side of the Rockies.
Right, because anything else is out in California and
And Washington,
and
yes.
up in that area. And, you know, we always belabor the point, but this is like the perfect spot for grapes, right?
Yeah, we have these beautiful climate buffering Great Lakes that help us out.
Well, and it's obvious today, just if you drive along 5 and 20, it's wet.
It's wet. It's wet.
Which means it's warmer than it is where we are. We have a phone call. You want to take it right now?
Oh, sure.
All right. Good morning, caller.
Morning, Doc. It's Mike Phillips. How are you?
Mike from Portland.
Yes, yes. How are you today?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good, good. See, I tuned in a little bit late, so I have a question for your guest. But the first thing I'm going to ask is, who is your guest this morning? I've been listening to her talk, but I haven't seen her name pop up.
Oh, well, let's do it right now, Jeff. There it is, Jennifer Phillips Russo.
Okay. We must be on a time delay, but it'll come up on my screen pretty soon.
Okay.
There we are. I guess. Well, hello, Jennifer.
Hi, Jeff. How are you?
Again, as Doc introduced me, my name is Mike Phelps, and I live in
Mike,
Portland,
sorry.
New York. And I have a curiosity question.
Go for it.
Less than a mile from my house is a satellite of Cornell University, for lack of a better term. It's a grape facility. I hate to say it, it's for as close as I live. I've never seen the inside of it, but do you work out of that facility, or?
I do. That's exactly where my office is and where a lot of my research projects are.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
I'm so glad that you brought that up because I don't think many people know that that is actually a Cornell campus right here in Western New York.
Maybe not. And I know I can't mention names, but I actually know one of your colleagues. And if I ever talk to you in person, I'll tell you who she is. At least I think I do. I think she's still there. But anyways, yeah, that's very interesting. Is there ever a chance for the public to see that facility, or?
Yes, and we are talking about doing that again. So we had one on August 31st of last fall or summer about having people come through and just learning of the research that goes there, because we have researchers from all over the world having projects right in the backyard right here in Chautauqua County.
Okay, that might be interesting to come up and see that. But yeah, well, anyways, at least during your work day, you're my neighbor.
Well, howdy, neighbor.
Hi. All right. But as soon as you mentioned grapes and stuff, I know there's a lot being done with grapes out of that facility. In fact, I'm pretty sure they developed at least one, maybe two varieties of grapes right out of that building, or the building on the land.
We actually have 11 different varieties right that in the back that we are researching on.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you guys have been busy.
Thanks for calling in.
All right, well, you're welcome. I'll let you get back to the show, and perhaps our paths will cross in the future.
Yeah. Thanks, Mike.
All right, we'll
Be
see you,
well.
Doc.
Take
Bye
care.
now.
Bye-bye. Very cool.
Yeah.
I was sort of thinking I was going to get to that sooner or later, but Mike beat me to it. But I'm glad he called in. So I know there's solar cells up there, and there's little buildings. So that's where you do all your microscopes and all that jazz.
It is, and where we have most of our research projects. But the other thing that I'm really proud of, and I actually counted before I came here today, we do on-farm research, because that's everything that we're supposed to be doing. We don't just come up with a question to say, wouldn't it be cool just to look at that? There needs to be meaning behind it, and it has to be helpful to somebody. So we have what we call advisory committees and mentoring committees, where we have people actually in the industry and grower stakeholders come together, talk about their problems, what's most important that we could put some money towards to help them be more productive.
Okay.
That's how we decide what we're going to do our research on. And I have 25 on-farm research projects right now with growers.
Well, it makes so much sense. I mean, it's like instead of coming with, like you were saying, this pie-in-the-sky problem, this is boots on the ground. What do you need?
Right. What do you need? How can we help you?
We'll solve it for you, kind of a thing. How long has this project, organization, Cornell, been in Brockton?
I think it's 12 years now in Brockton, but before that, it was across the street from Fredonia High School, right in Fredonia, New York. So the lab our team has been founded since 1992.
Wow. Okay. All right. So we hadn't seen each other in a long time, and then my Rotary Club had something called Rural Urban Days or Urban Rural Days. I always interchange the words, where we talk about people from the city, in the villages, the towns, and then bringing the agricultural world together. That's the whole concept. And you spoke, and I was totally impressed by what you were talking about. And one of the things I left thinking about was that you were like the poster girl, lady, woman, whatever I'm trying to just throw terms out here right now, but I saw you as the poster child for women to be scientists.
Oh, thank you.
Seriously, because the way you spoke, presented, we just don't have enough of that. We don't see enough of that.
We don't. You give me goosebumps.
Because I've seen some of these movies or whatever where again poster children that were behind the NASA flights. They call them the
Invisible.
women, the invisible number ladies and the number crunchers, or whatever. And so good for you. And I hope that people who are watching right now will talk to the young ladies in their lives or older women or whatever stage of life, is to say, it doesn't matter how old you are, go for your dream, right?
Just go for it. Have fun. Enjoy the process.
I talk to my own daughter and I'll say, how did you get to this point? She goes, my dad. I go, oh, I got the woo.
Well, thank you for that.
Yeah. No, but seriously, I think we need to use the word mentoring the farmers and things like that. And I think that's what we need to do. And to keep breaking down those walls and the glass ceiling as we refer to it. So congratulations.
I really appreciate you mentioning that. Thank you. And it has always been, and this is not going to be, oh, poor Jennifer, because I've never been one to let things confine me. I always tell when I go out and give speeches to younger generations at schools and whatnot that no cannot physically stop me. You can say no to me, but if I'm really passionate about it, I will find a way around to make it. My children challenge me all the time. They're like, really? So can I fly? I'm like, invent the boots. Put the work in. You can do it.
Well, I usually have a sign in my office that says failure is not an option.
And failure is okay, too, as long as you learn from it, right?
Exactly.
That's what I tell my children. Fall flat on your face and learn not to fall that way.
Absolutely. That's how we learn, right? Okay, so we have slides and things like that, so I want you to feel free to say, let's bring up whatever as we're talking.
Okay.
But one of the things that impressed me so much when you gave your talk at our Rotary Club was that you were pointing out an enemy that is lurking in the wings right now for our farmers in Chautauqua County. What this show is about is presenting information, education, and explanation of all that. And so I thought we would take some time anyways to talk about this ominous thing that's out there. So I'll let you introduce it all, because I'll just massacre it. As you can see, I can do that.
And thank you for that. So I work with Cornell University, and we received a grant through New York State Ag and Markets to bring awareness. There is an invasive species called the spotted lanternfly. And Jeff, if you want to bring up, oh, there I am, Lake Erie Regional Grape Program. So the next one would be the picture of the spotted lanternfly itself. This is an invasive species. It came over from Asia. We're thinking in about the year 2014. And it came over on some landscape rock that just went out into the communities. And their egg masses, which we'll talk about in a minute, are really hard to see if you don't know what you're looking for.
This particular fly is around here.
It is, unfortunately.
It's kind of pretty.
It's beautiful. And the whole thing about this bug that I feel awful with, because even in my home, I'm a catch and release person, is that if you see this bug, you need to kill it. You need to stomp on it. We have to destroy it. I know that sounds awful and barbaric, but it is an agricultural pest and can potentially destroy the grape
Before
industry.
we leave this slide, I have people listening on the radio right now.
Okay.
Let's describe it, because they might be listening in Jamestown but could be living over on this side of the county.
So it is a plant hopper, and it is about, as an adult stage, you can see it sort of looks like a butterfly or a moth. It is about 1 inch to 1.5 inches long. It has brown wings with black spots on it.
Okay.
And underneath it has these red wings underneath them, which is also a bit of a concern. Because this pest is so new, and it is an agricultural pest, like I said, but it's also a nuisance pest to community members, there's not a lot of research. The way research works is all of a sudden everybody says, oh no, let's throw a little money to find out more about it. And basically that goes into its life cycle and what it lives off of. But that red coloring that you see on this bug, in nature, if you find something brightly colored, it's normally its way of saying, don't eat me. I'm going to either kill you or taste really awful. And
Like a stink bug.
exactly, or monarch butterflies, or poison dart frogs.
Yeah.
So all of those could have these toxins that are associated with it. And unfortunately, we don't have that research yet. I mean, it's undergoing right now. We're working on it. And Penn State, I believe it's Penn State University, is actually just starting that work. But imagine our grape growers and harvesting our grapes in bulk, and these things are stuck in there. We want to know, are they toxic? I mean, it happens. It's out in nature. You get some blueberries. Sometimes there's a gnat in there, So we don't want these in there. We need more research to find out whether they're toxic or have a taint flavor in the product. But the most important thing is bringing awareness to make it not be in our vineyards, to be able to recognize it, to be able to stop this bug from producing and reproducing. And then that's why I'm here today, is to bring awareness to it and at least tell you about it so that you can be aware and looking.
So black and yellow on the body, Jeff pointed out?
Yes.
Sort of like a bumblebee looking
Yep.
body.
You don't hardly ever see that. There's another photo. Jeff, I don't know if we have the other photo of it where you see it with its wings closed, but I know it's on the video. Maybe
That's all right. Well, yeah.
Okay, maybe now is a good time to show the video.
Okay. All right.
This was funded by New York State Ag and Markets. Because this is not just an agricultural pest, we need everybody in the community out there. Obviously, the grape growers, it loves grapes. The grape growers are vested because it's their livelihood. But even in your own backyard. The spotted lanternfly is a destructive invasive species that is spreading across New York State. They are a major threat to New York agriculture.
There we go.
And could become a nuisance to
Holy cow.
homeowners and those who enjoy the outdoors. They don't bite humans or animals, but they do excrete a sticky substance that rains down to the area below, covering plants and surfaces. That can lead to mold growth and attract stinging insects and ants. The spotted lanternfly can't fly very well, but it is very good at hitchhiking. It is very important that you inspect your vehicle and belongings so you don't transport spotted lanternflies or their egg masses. The egg masses are laid September through November and can look like a dried splotch of mud. If you find a spotted lanternfly in New York State, please take a photo of it, collect it, squish it, and then report it at reportslf.com. Thank you, Jeff. Do you mind bringing up the map photo, please?
Okay. Oh. Ooh.
So, it started down in Pennsylvania. In 2017 was the first time that we noticed it in vineyards in Southeast PA, and in 2019, that vineyard was destroyed, completely dead.
Ooh. Whereabouts in Pennsylvania?
So down in the lower corners, I think if you can see where some of the, it was down right, like in the port, New Jersey. Down there,
on the East Coast there, okay.
On the East Coast. And then you can see that the blue area, if you're watching this at home, and I'll try to describe it if you're just listening to it, it is grown by counties. And most of the time it is done by hitchhiking, so it's following railroads. It's just jumping on your car and you're taking it places. It doesn't care where it lays its egg masses. So people, they don't know, unexpectedly transport eggs to another area, and then the bug is just so prolific. Each egg mass can have anywhere between 35 to 60 eggs in it. So imagine one spotted lanternfly, and then each of those 35 to 60, another 35 to 60. It's just, we have trees. And there's another photo, but I'm not entirely sure if it was part of what came up. But you can find 10,000 spotted lanternflies on one tree. And you saw in that video, the honeydew or excrement that comes out while they feed rains down on all of the area below. So there is this one particular house. We try to show it as a shock and awe. Oh, that's one tree. Yes, thank you for showing that.
I'm going to have nightmares
Can
now.
you imagine this in your backyard? And not only are they excreting while you're sitting there and you're getting rained on, but now that's bringing in all the stinging insects. It's this sticky honeydew that then mold grows on. This is a picture of somebody's steps in their backyard that they have to power wash every 3 days. They can't enjoy their backyard. So it's really not just an agricultural pest. I'm here to beg and plead you to keep your eyes open and report it to Report SLF should you find it, so we can track its movements. Unfortunately, we do have a population. Look at how mean it looks. Look at that picture. I'm sorry, but I always say what a jerk when I see this. So think about human health yourself. Like, for order for you want a healthy body to sustain life, right? And when sometimes you're sick, it's harder to fight off, such as COVID. If you have underlying diseases, it makes it that much harder to fight it off. It's the same thing with this invasive species, that it feeds on the grapevines and kind of sucks some of that life out of it, making it less hardy to sustain a cold winter or to sustain any other diseases or impacts that could affect its growth pattern. So that's how we sort of decrease its ability to grow.
All right. So I go outside and I see a swarm of these things. I take a sample, I call you guys. What do you do then?
So we need to report it to Ag and Markets. And if you can all do it yourself too. And if you want a positive identification, please feel free to drop it off at the office at the Cornell Lake Erie Research and Extension Laboratory in Portland, New York. Or you can take a photo of it and email it to me. I don't know if my email address is going to come up anywhere, but you can certainly Google me online and find me, but I'll just give it to you. It's jjr268@cornell.edu. We are very passionate about it, and I will check everyone. We have had growers call. It's not in our area yet. It's not in vineyards, but growers are becoming more and more aware of it, so they'll send me a photo, and then I will go out and do a grid search and see if I find some. And if you do find some, you do need to report it to Ag and Market so that we can track the movement of this bug.
All right, so go back to my question. If I got a swarm all of a sudden, because they all
boy.
hatched or whatever,
Yeah.
is there a pesticide?
There are pesticides, even water kills it. I
What?
would highly,
Water?
yes, just like power washing it with water could kill it. I highly suggest going on New York State IPM, which is Integrated Pest Management. It's Cornell's New York State IPM. They have a website, and out there's a PDF of everything you can use to combat this bug should you find it in your backyard.
Because I can't imagine, like, you know.
That's what we want to avoid. We want to be on top of it and proactive instead of reactive when it gets here. So
Yeah.
it's scouting is really important, knowing there are 4 different what we call instars of this bug. So you will need to know what they look like. And unfortunately, when they hatch, they're super tiny and almost look like a tick. But as they get...
Don't say that word.
I know,
Tick, it's going to be a
know.
bad... I just killed one yesterday.
Did you really?
I did.
But somebody else sent me a picture of one just the other day, and I'm like, not yet.
Oh, yeah, because it's so warm.
I know.
The dogs are running around in the woods and the leaves, and they're out there. And that's my concern right now. Is this going to be an issue because it's been a mild winter for this particular insect?
It is my concern as well. And unfortunately, we have an established population in Buffalo, New York.
I saw that.
Yeah. It followed the rail. It's right along the rail. It's going to be inevitable. We always say not if, but when it gets here. So if we could just all be a little more educated and prepared and know that you definitely, please, if you see this bug, stomp it. There was even a Saturday Night Live skit about this bug. I was like, well, at least it's getting recognition.
Okay, we have another phone call. Ready?
Sure.
Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Jack.
Oh,
Good
hi,
morning,
Linda.
Jennifer. This is Linda Spalding. Congratulations on all your accomplishments, Jennifer.
Pretty cool,
Hi,
huh?
Linda.
This is really startling what you're telling us about this insect.
Thank you. Yes, we're very nervous about it getting here, and we would appreciate everybody spreading the word about it so that we can have more eyes and boots on the ground trying to help eradicate it.
Well, my next question is this, and I know environmentalists don't like to hear this, and I'm one, and all of you are. What about insecticides? Don't they work on this?
They do. They absolutely do. The problem with this bug is that it doesn't care where it lays its eggs. So it's not always going to be at a vineyard. As a matter of fact, it's usually in a wooded lot away from a vineyard. So the adults will fly in and feed, and you can kill them, but the very next day, another drove of adults fly back in. That's the issue.
Uh-oh.
And so if we can try to really keep these populations down, it would be super helpful to our agricultural community.
Oh, my goodness. Well, keep up the good work, and let's hope this plague is extinguished.
Thank you. I appreciate that, and join us in the fight.
I will. I certainly will. And I taught biology to junior high students.
There you
Oh,
go.
thank you.
Yeah, and I appreciate your love of nature. And I also I wanted to be a dancer when I was in junior high.
Whoa, there
Yeah.
you go.
Uh-huh. I
Kindred
wanna-
spirits.
Okay, have a wonderful weekend.
Okay,
Thank
Lynn,
you,
thanks
you
for calling
too.
in.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.
You know, just as Linda was talking, I was thinking, she lives over at the Chautauqua Institution. Think about this for a minute. People come from all over the country. Those little critters could be coming into our county in the back of their cars.
That's what happens, actually, and unfortunately. And the darn bug can hold on for a long time.
Yeah.
So we had one person at UB call, and I'm so thankful that a student had the foresight to know to report this to somebody, because it's not really truly out there unless you're in the agricultural industry.
Right.
So thank you for this opportunity to get the word out there.
Oh, you know, Jeff just pointed out in my earpiece is that we also are great exporters of this too. So we are helping the rest of the country, you know, to be aware of this as well. So hopefully the word gets out. But you're very welcome. When I heard your talk that day, I thought, holy cow, how come I don't know about this? You know, and so now we've just covered, you know, as I told you, with our exposure through the show, a few more people, like a lot more people.
Right, thank you, I appreciate that.
Oh, so Jeff just asked me, do you use traps? Can you trap these guys?
You can trap these guys. So we do have a trapping. I should state that we're not putting pheromones out there, which is a chemical that they smell to attract them. We're just actually,
hello.
Yeah, hi. We're actually just checking to see if they're here. So this bug likes to climb up things. So if you have a telephone pole, they've been found 55 stories up in Manhattan.
55 stars.
Yeah, they'll climb up because
This
they
sounds like a sci-fi
I know, they're awful.
horror
They'll
movie.
leap off and follow the thermo,
Jeez.
just wind trails to help carry them to certain areas. And so knowing that you can put a circle trap, people have put sticky traps out. Unfortunately, you get some native species
Yeah.
that you end up trapping, which is not really what we want to do, but you can put up a circular wire trap and they'll climb up and then they don't know how to get back out. So
Okay, so we want to trap stink bugs and spider leonard.
I'm sorry.
Stink bugs are just
All
driving me
invasive species,
crazy.
mind you.
Yeah.
If it's not invasive, if it's endemic to an area, then it is grown up with predators that eat it and help control the numbers. But unfortunately, invasive species don't have.
So do we know how far north this thing can go?
That's a good question. They actually didn't think that it would survive in our climate, and Buffalo clearly states that it can survive in our climate.
And the winters the way they've been, hello. Welcome.
Well, even they have this waxy coating over their eggs that just keep it so well protected. What an amazing bug, and expend a lot of energy to protect that next generation.
All right, so we got a couple of minutes left.
Sure.
So as far as folks in our region here, we got to keep our eyes open to help our farmers.
Please.
And this will kill a vineyard.
Yes. We don't know how it's going to react in our area because our acreage is so vast, but we do know that down in southeast PA, it has killed vineyards that have been completely infested. But if we can be, you know, proactive and get out there and scout and help keep these numbers down, you'll really be helping our industry.
Well, with 30,000 acres of grapes and this thing coming along the sidelines, we got to help each other out, right?
We do.
You know, that's tax base. I mean, this is everything. We're all affected by this thing, and gosh. Whew. So, Jennifer, you got the last minute. What do you want to tell folks? Anything you want to tell them as far as this whole issue?
As far as the spotted lanternfly,
Yeah.
just please be out there, be aware, be looking for it. There are plenty of resources online through Cornell University, New York State Department of Ag and Markets, New York State Department of Environmental Conservation. Just research, or even the SLF. If you just Google SLF, you'll get a whole bunch of resources out there that can help you. Or give me a call at the Cornell Lake Erie Regional Grape Program, and we can help identify.
What's the number there?
Oh, now you have to go.
I would ask that. We'll look it up sometime. Okay. And how about, we got half a minute, what would you tell young people? We just won't say boys or girls, young people that might want to go into sciences.
I would advocate that you go into a science that actually helps out agriculture, because with our growing populations and our decreasing land opportunities for growing, we're going to have to get innovative. And it's not just a shovel and dirt anymore. We're using satellite imagery, drones, precision agriculture with robots to help us along. So it's really a cool time to get into it, and I would just highly encourage you to look into it.
Very good. Folks, you've been watching Chautauqua Sunrise. My guest has been Jennifer Phillips Russo, a scientist and a PhD candidate here. And next time, I hope to see you, call you Dr. Russo.
Wouldn't that be fantastic?
That'd be great. So I hope you enjoyed the show. We try to share information that's helpful to everybody. And so please, be on guard and let Jennifer know if you see any of these critters. So we're going to do this all next week. Take care. Have a nice weekend. Again, drive safely out there. It could be a little slushy. Bye-bye now.
Thanks for having me.